Going to need some help. Bama currently a 13.5-point favorite according to Caesars Sportsbook. That would be the third largest spread in a college football playoff game. Good news for the Crimson Tide. They've been at least a 13-point favorite in 3 playoff games before. They won them all. More reports on both teams, starting with the Tide. Here's Laura Rutledge.
The Alabama Crimson Tide are getting good news with some guys getting healthy ahead of this Cotton Bowl game against Cincinnati. Brian Robinson, the running back who was hampered in the SEC championship game, is good to go, healthy, and has practiced well. On the secondary, Jalen Armour-Davis is expected to play as well. He's practiced all week long, and they say he's a game-time decision, but look to see him out there. On the other side, with Josh Jobe out in that secondary, you'll see Kool-Aid McKinstry as well as Kyrie Jackson, and Nick Saban said they know this Cincinnati offense is going to take shots. That's an area that he's concerned about ahead of this game. In fact, he said his leg was shaking so bad under the table that he was glad we couldn't see it on our Zoom meeting earlier today.
Cincinnati quarterback Desmond Ridder is using their underdog status to motivate his teammates. He took his offensive line out to a nice steak dinner last week and brought up all of the negative media attention surrounding their team and mentioned the David versus Goliath comparison and said, "No one believes in us, but I believe in us, and I trust you guys. I hope you trust me that I will give it my all in this game." He told them to look at this matchup against Alabama's defensive line as an opportunity to prove everyone wrong, and head coach Luke Fickell said that battle between his offensive line and Alabama's defensive front is the single most important matchup in this game.
All right, after we're done here, Gary and I are actually hopping on a flight to Miami because we'll be at the Capital One Orange Bowl, and there's a lot we're looking forward to. First, Michigan's offense has been heavy on the run game, averaging over 220 rushing yards per game. That's 10th most in the FBS, but the Bulldogs defense has been shutting things down this season, only allowing an FBS best 9.5 points per game. The key for Georgia's offense is their guy Stetson Bennett. He's one of only 2 quarterbacks averaging over 10 yards per attempt. Stet will be facing a Michigan defense that has gotten pressure on 37% of dropbacks, the 8th highest in FBS. In Kirby Smart's head coaching career, he hasn't dropped one game against non-conference opponents who are ranked in the top 10 in the AP poll. So the Bulldogs are most likely unbothered by that number 2 in front of Harbaugh's Michigan team. Both coaches talked about the journey to the playoff, starting with Kirby Smart, new on SportsCenter.
I enjoy the ride every year, so I feel like at Michigan and Georgia, you're never not the target. Like if you go through the year and say, well, you know, we're ascending this year and we're climbing and this and that. Look, it doesn't matter who we play. Both teams, we have a lot of rivals. We're very unique in that everybody's your rival in your conference when you go to play. And you're, you know, one of the top programs in the country, premier programs in the country. You get everybody's best shot. It's not about their shot. It's really about your shot. And my job is to make sure we give our best shot to everybody we play. I'm not interested in the climb and the rise, and what I'm interested in is being at our best when our best is required, and that's ultimately what we're trying to do every single game.
It's enjoyable to be working on football. Great to be out there. It could be a practice day, and you're just out there on the field, under the sky on the turf. It's a wonderful thing. I mean, you asked me before about, I mean, I'd do it for free. I would do this job for free. Just love it. So whether it's the first day, first game, or position we're in now, feel really, really happy about that. I guess I just enjoy the ride the whole time.
Michigan is currently a 7.5-point underdog against Georgia. Early in Harbaugh's time in Ann Arbor, the Wolverines were not great, but they shocked the world this season, going 2-0 in such games. Our friends have been hanging around these two teams all week, and they've got the scoop. Starting with the Wolverines, here's Marty Smith.
I spoke with Michigan head coach Jim Harbaugh Thursday morning about the mindset and energy of his team, and he loves both, and said something telling about the Wolverines' mindset. He said every day matters, but only the games count. He noted that playoff games like this typically come down to short yardage situations at the point of attack, and said how great Georgia is both on the offensive and defensive lines. They're going to have to block the Bulldogs if they want to win this game. I asked him, how do you win? He said, make it about us. Ensure our preparation is optimum, and then just cut it loose. One other note of interest for the Wolverines, safety Daxton Hill. Harbaugh told me he is not with the Wolverines here in Florida as of Thursday morning, but didn't rule him out to play in the Orange Bowl Friday night. He said he's questionable and that it's a game time decision. Now let's head to Holly Rowe, who's with the Georgia Bulldogs. Holly?
Thanks, Marty. For Georgia, I can tell you that I went to practice yesterday and the Bulldogs look great. All of their projected starters are here in Florida, and we'll know more leading up to the hours before the game when they officially release their injury report if there are any additional positive COVID cases among the Bulldogs. I can tell you that the players are itching to get back out on the field. Talking with quarterback Stetson Bennett, he said, there were some great plays I made against Alabama, but there were also 3 or 4 plays in that game that I just can't make. He said the hardest thing has been to wait 3 weeks to try to have some redemption. The team is hunkered down at their hotel in downtown Miami, and they're having some fun. They've got a great lounge, a game room, but most importantly, they brought in the official barber of the Miami Dolphins, Steven Scissorhands, to get them right. They will also do a light walkthrough today and then hunker down at their hotel for one of their skull sessions, something they've been doing all year to make sure the team is connected and understanding what is their why.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.